The Trump administration ramping up its response to allegations of widespread fraud in Minnesota. DHS posting video of their agents on the ground there confronting someone in a convenience store. Bringing in now Chad Wolf, former acting DHS secretary and executive director of the America First Policy Institute. Sir, thank you for being with us. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Kicking things off, this is a remarkable story. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What role do you anticipate DHS will play in the coming weeks? There are other federal agencies on the ground as well, but what do you think the role for DHS is?
Yeah, look, this is turning out to be one of the biggest scandals of the year. In DHS, as you see there on the screen earlier, Homeland Security investigations agents are on the ground helping probably the FBI and other federal law enforcement do some investigative work to understand how big and how large this fraud it really is. I don't know that we actually know the extent of what's happened there. And again, it's not just the child care fraud, it's immigration fraud. It's a variety of different things that they are taking a look at to understand how deep this really goes. And I think this is going to continue for the next several months to really get a handle on it.
I want to bring in some breaking news now. The Homeland Oversight Committee is announcing 2 hearings specifically to address this issue, one in January, but also another in February, February 10th, when Governor Tim Walz and the Attorney General there of that state will be invited to testify. What questions would you like to hear answered by the governor and the AG there?
Yeah, what have you done? I mean, it appears as though the governor has done very little in this instance, where you now have the Trump administration, you have the Small Business Administration, the Housing Department, DHS, DOJ, and others having to flood the zone here with investigators and resources to try to understand what's going on and to stop the ongoing fraud here. So the question for Governor Walz is, how long did you know about this, and what have you done, and why haven't you done more? Look, I think the American people are looking at this and say that largely this is an immigrant community that has come into the United States and at the good graces of the United States is able to stay here. And yet one of the first things they have done is defraud the American people out of billions of dollars. And it's not right. And you've got to be aggressive about this. And it doesn't appear that Governor Walz and his administration have done anything.
Well, it's interesting to hear the statements coming out of the governor's office, because they've argued that they've known about this for years. We know that they've known for years, and they say that they're fixing it and they've been working on this and there have been investigations underway. But here's a statement from James Comer of the Oversight Committee talking about what the plans are as these hearings get underway. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison have either been asleep at the wheel or complicit in a massive fraud involving taxpayer dollars in Minnesota's social services programs. Your thoughts on that word, complicit?
Yeah, it's a great question. Look, I think this is such a large fraud case that the question becomes who knew about it and when, and how does something like this go unnoticed, not investigated, and really not prosecuted for years and years and years? Was there complicity involved? And I think really only an outside investigation by the federal government, by the Trump administration, is really going to get to the bottom of it. And so, look, I think Governor Walz and the AG there in Minnesota has a lot to answer for. The American people want answers, and they have been very mum about what they have found and what they have done. And what this reminds me of is, if you go back to the Biden administration, particularly along that border, and you heard Biden say, well, I'm doing everything I can do, but yet President Trump came into office and fixed it almost right away. It almost feels like that again. You have Governor Walz saying, well, I'm doing everything I can do at the moment, and yet President Trump and his team are flooding the zone with resources and probably are going to get to the bottom of it before the governor and the AG there in Minnesota do.
And quickly, I want to get your thoughts on something happening in Chicago. The Chicago mayor, they have this contest. It seems like a friendly contest where they like people name snowplows, essentially. And one particular name is Abolish ICE. And here's the mayor on that.
He has used it as a privatized force to enact terror and not just terror, but a great deal of harm against people. And so over the course of several years in this city, we have stood firm on our values. So that's why that particular name of this truck being named Abolish ICE has my full and complete endorsement.
A full and complete endorsement of a name, what's meant to be a friendly contest. Your thoughts?
Well, the mayor talks about his values. Well, his values evidently are allowing criminal illegal aliens back onto the streets of Chicago to reoffend his constituents. Those are his values. He has called ICE a credible threat, an occupying force. He is the one that is making it more difficult and more dangerous for law enforcement. He is anti-law enforcement. He is a disgrace. He should not be in the position that he is. And hopefully the folks of Chicago will wake up and say, we need new leadership here.
All right. Chad Wolf, thank you very much for a look back on 2025. We're looking ahead to 2026. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.